Hi, welcome back to our podcast, Books Don't Review Themselves. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kim.
And today we are reviewing Three Widows and a Corpse by Debra Sennefelder.
Sennefelder?
I think that's how you say it. I don't know if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't know if you can see the title. Kim actually got this book from Debra, and so we both read it. And then we were able to interview Debra, so that I'm not sure if we're going to have that as part of this or as a separate thing yet. Keep your eye out for that because that was really fun. So I'm just going to read the synopsis on the back of the book. When Hope discovers a grisly surprise, the body of shady real estate developer Lionel Whitcomb shot in the parking lot during Jefferson, Connecticut's annual scavenger hunt, his wife Elaine gasps and nearly faints. But two other women on the scene cry out that their husband is dead. It turns out this louse of a spouse was more than a little lax in legally divorcing his former wives. Did one of them put a bullet in the bigamist? Number one suspect and number three wife Elaine begs Hope to investigate. Now Hope's on a new kind of hunt for a cold-hearted killer and a triple widow maker. We also should mention that. So this is book number 3 of the Food Blogger Mysteries. So the first one is the Uninvited Corpse. Book 2 is The Hidden Corpse. And like I said, this is book 3. And when we were talking with Debra, she did say that there is a book 4 that is forthcoming.
And she was working on book 5.
Yes.
So, awesome.
Yes, so there will be more.
And she also has another cozy mystery series called the Resale Boutique Mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Book 1 is Murder Wears a Little Black Dress. Book 2 is Silenced in Sequins, and that's coming out January 7th of 2020. And then she's also working on a novella, which will be out in September of 2020, and that's called What Not to Wear to a Graveyard. That's cool. I think definitely want to check out Murder Wears a Little Black Dress and start reading that. And see.
Yes.
And having a novella for us to read, that'll be so refreshing.
I know.
Something shorter. Yay. Very nice.
This is the first cozy mystery that I think I've read. I mean, I can't think of any others that I've read. I'm pretty sure this is the first one. And I am really surprised at how much I liked it.
I was scared because since you do like the thrillers and the suspense.
Yes, I like very nasty, dark, deep, scary books.
And cozy mysteries are not that.
No. To be fair, like, I do enjoy, like, Nicholas Sparks, but I have to be, like, almost in the mood for it. Mm-hmm. It's a good break from the darkness of what I typically read.
Cleanses your soul.
Yes. I want to say I was probably, like, 4 or 5 pages in, and I was really interested to read more. This is not super dark, Cozies are not. But I really, really enjoyed it. The only thing that I was not that I didn't like, but I was not expecting as many characters. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of characters. So that can be a little bit hard to follow. But the nice thing is that it is a cozy mystery. So the whole plot and everything isn't overly complex where you can't figure out, who is who. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. It's a quick read. And I did not guess who did it. So that was nice.
Very nice. I love when I find cozies that I don't. That always makes me super happy. Like I said, I was scared for you to read this because, whenever you have something that you love yourself and then you share it with someone else. And I mean, I do love cozy mysteries. I read a lot of them. And I'm just like, oh God, how is
I think she thought I was just going to like tear it to shreds.
I'm like, please don't.
Yeah, but I guess I'm kind of surprised a little bit that you enjoy cozy mysteries as much as you do.
I need to cleanse my soul too.
Yes, and I guess I think it's the cozy mysteries. I mean, I'm sure they're all not good, but
yeah, no, there's some
like if I read books of this magnitude between each thriller, I would be perfectly content because it still has that mystery aspect, but yet it's not, like I said, as dark. Mm-hmm. The other thing that was really cool is that Hope, the main character, is a food blogger. Mm-hmm. The author was actually used to be a food blogger. So I really liked how she incorporated that into the story. And then at the end of the book, there's actually recipes that were mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, maybe that's something we'll do one day is
Excellent.
cook on our channel.
Oh God. I'm an okay cook. I cook fine. My food tastes fine and I bake fine. But when it comes to being in the kitchen, I am not a happy cook. I cook because like I have to and because I want to eat and I want to enjoy good, healthy food, but I don't enjoy the process of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Spiros interrupts me when I'm cooking, I get crabby. I'm just like, just get out of my kitchen and leave me alone. And like, I'm not a happy cook.
See, I love baking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind cooking, but I love baking. And so that was the other thing that I really liked is I felt like I kind of related to Hope in a lot of ways because I feel like the intrigue of the mystery and the whodunit is definitely how I am. And then the whole baking food blogger thing I feel is something that really intrigues me. That's actually one of the things I wanted to be when I grew up was I wanted to be a chef.
Oh.
But I did not go that route.
But you still have time. Maybe, in 10 years you'll change your mind. And
I try to get fancy sometimes with my cooking, and then I get stressed out because I think
that's what it is with me too. I'm just like,
yeah, it's like, what did I get into? I didn't realize how complicated this would be.
And then just like with the bacon and stuff, it's just little stupid things that set me off. I am short and our cabinets are tall. And when I can't reach the vanilla extract on the top shelf and I have to go grab the stool from the other room, it just annoys me. And then I'm just like, ugh. And it's just bad.
I love to bake, but I also bake with love. So it's like...
I bake with hate.
I bake with love. So that, like, what I mean by that is that when it says, like, a teaspoon of vanilla, I'm like...
I just dump some.
Yeah. I'm like, this looks good. And I always... Most of the time my stuff comes out fine. The only time that I'm like really specific is like if it's like probably baking soda, you know, or something like that.
I measure my flour and my baking soda and baking powder. But I mean, sugar, I always do less sugar than they call for and just.
I am more of a baker. But my big problem with baking is that I don't really clean as I go.
Oh.
So like I end up with shit everywhere.
I do.
And then Josh gets really mad.
I would be like, Josh.
He comes in and cleans behind me. And so that gets.
So we can't bake together because I'd be like, I will stab you now. Clean up your stuff.
It could be a fun episode.
That's like when Spiros cooks. When he's done, the kitchen is a disaster, and I just come downstairs. I'm like, if you would just put the butter and the garlic and blah 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 away. When you're done with it, it would be fun. Oh my God.
I always wanted to be one of those people on like the Food Network that has those little dishes with all their
everything prepared for
you. And just like
and someone else to clean
but
the dishes.
I never do that. I always am just like, oh fuck, I need this and I forgot about that and then I like touch this and then there's powder here and then so that's just.
And the other thing with like cooking shows that drives me nuts, and I enjoy watching them. I mean, I watch them all the time and I love them, but when they just like dump the batter out or whatever and they don't use a spatula. I'm like, I know you're rich and I know you have a production company behind you and I know you don't care about waste, but use your spatula. Get all that stuff out of it. It drives me nuts. So that's just a side pet peeve now that we haven't been talking about the book for like 10 minutes. But
anyway, so back to the book. So I would rate this book a 5 out of 5, I think.
Awesome.
There's really not anything that I can think of that
you're like, oh, this could be better, or was confusing or anything.
Yeah. I would rate it a 5 out of 5 for the cozy mystery. Yes.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. The biggest reason is I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't have any problems, with all the characters because, like you said, she wrote enough background information that if it was a character from a previous book, you knew about it. And it comes to a little thing for me. It was just because I knew very early on who the killer was. And I think the only reason why I did is because I do read so many of them. And it was just the way that it was written. I think if I had started this series with book 1 and this was book 3, I don't think I would have caught it as much either. But since I was reading this book fresh and it was the first one for me, what made me think I knew who the killer was just really stood out at that point. And it seemed to be just really kind of in your face to me. And I'm like, oh, that's the killer. So I think, like I said, if I started the series from book 1, perhaps it wouldn't have been as in the face. And if I didn't read so many, it would not have been as noticeable.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, though.
Yeah.
And I think, you're touching before about enjoying the mystery. And I think that's why people read the cozy mysteries, first of all, for the mystery, but also for the cozy aspect of it, where, you have these characters that you're meeting in the small town, usually in a small town, and you grow to love them or to really enjoy them and want to come back, for the next book and just see how they're progressing and getting on with their lives. And with these characters in here, I can definitely see myself wanting, to come back and see how they're continuing.
Right. And that's the only thing that I kind of wish I would have read the other ones. Not that you have to.
No.
Like Kim said, you don't have to
There's
to understand
background.
this. But like there was one point where there was like a reference to Hope's sister Claire having been a suspect in a previous murder. So I'm assuming that is obviously mentioned in book 1 or 2. So I kind of want to know a little bit more about that. But again, it doesn't take away from this book at all.
And I looked it up, and it was in book 1 that her sister was the suspect in it. And that happens a lot in cozies, too. Either a close family member is a suspect, or the main character themselves is a suspect. And then that's how they start their detective skills, because they want to free themselves or free one of their close members in the family or friend. So that is often a thing that happens. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. Like I said, I don't know if I'd necessarily go back and read the past ones just because there's so much reading to do, but I would not be opposed to reading future ones. And I think I really do want to try the Murder Wars: A Little Black Dress, since that's the first in the series, and just progress from there and see how that goes.
See, and that's the thing too, is that it seems like, because we were kind of looking at cozy mysteries for like December for Christmas time, and I didn't realize how it seems like all these different cozy mysteries have different niches.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I didn't realize that. So, like, this is her food blogger mysteries. And then the other one that we were talking about is the resale boutique mystery. So it's more fashion geared. When I was looking at other ones, there was like, pet geared ones, like dog geared ones, and like wine geared ones. So I didn't realize how niche-y they can be, and I think that's kind of cool too, because I don't think I've never read a book that was as geared towards food as this. I've never read a book geared towards like fashion, really,
like a fiction.
Right. So I think that's kind of cool how they incorporate these different things. And like we said, Debra herself, the author, was a food blogger. So she said for her it made sense, and she said at the time she started the series, she hadn't really seen anything. And
I hadn't either. I mean, I've read tons of food cozies, they're caterers or chefs or whatever. But this is the first one where it's a food blogger. And I really enjoyed that. To me, sometimes cozy mysteries can feel a bit dated in various ways, but this one, it felt new and fresh to me because this is the first food blogger
it was like
one.
Modern.
It was, I could see like Instagram pictures and stuff,
Yes. And like her talking about like food porn and stuff, because that's very...
it's on Instagram.
Yes, it's very much a thing now. So for her to incorporate more modern things today definitely makes it more enjoyable, and
I thought so.
Makes it feel, like you said, more fresh and
and then besides just the cooking mysteries or the crafting ones, scrapbooking or knitting or whatever, there's also a whole nother subgenre of like the paranormal ones, so the witchy cozies.
So I'm excited to get into those,
and those are my catnip. I mean, if you give me a witchcraft cozy mystery, I'm like, I love it.
I think I got one on BookBub that I will be reading. I don't know,
but like any genre, there are some stink bombs too. The other thing with cozies too that can end up driving me nuts, and this did not have it, which is wonderful, is when you have a romantic relationship that just keeps going from book to book to book and it never concludes, or if you get a love triangle and it never concludes. I've stopped reading cozy mystery series that I've really enjoyed, but I just can't handle that anymore. And unfortunately, one of those was Janet Ivanovich's Stephanie Plum series. And I mean, that's a huge series. People love that series.
Isn't that the one that's like 75,000 books?
I think she's only up to like 28 or something, maybe more by now. But
and
I mean,
how do you end that? How do you wrap that up after 28?
I don't know. You know, and to me, I remember book 13, I laughed my butt off. And I think it was shortly after that when they just started dwindling to me because I couldn't handle that love triangle anymore. So please don't keep the love triangle going. Just pick one or the other or neither. I don't care.
Or resolve it and move on to something else. Like you can have 28 books if that's your prerogative, but don't keep trailing something from book 1 to book 28.
Yeah.
So the books that I've gotten recently on BookBub is Witch Napped in Westerham, Paranormal Investigative Bureau Book 1 by Dion Lister. Mm-hmm. And then the other one that I think is it's got to be some sort of a cozy. The Vampire Knitting Club, first in a paranormal cozy mystery series.
I looked at that
by
one.
Nancy Warren.
Okay.
So
You'll have to read that and let me know if it's any good.
And then the other one, we actually had the author reach out to us that we will be reviewing. I don't know the date that we'll have this one coming out yet. I think it's in 2020. But called Journal to Death by Heather Redman.
I was confused for a second. I'm like, who is this? I forgot which book it was.
Yeah, we have so many books planned out, but I believe that one is out in 2020. Oh, I got some more mysteries I forgot about. I also got this one on BookBub. A Very Clever Corpse. A Laugh Out Loud Kylie Berry mystery by A.R. Winters.
That sounds good.
And A Harvest of Bones. A Chintz in China novel by Yasmin Galnorn.
She's a good writer. I've read some of her stuff before.
So I am excited. I got those on BookBub. So, you know, it's like, if I don't like them, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I am excited to read them. And I like that it's not, that they're fast reads. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't feel like
bogged down by it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed that.
I was just looking really quick, a couple mystery series that I enjoy that are paranormal. There's the Bewitching Mysteries series by Madeline Alt. I know that's a good one. The Country Cooking School Mystery series by, I can't read it, Paige Shelton. It has ghosts involved with it. That one is a good one, too, that I've enjoyed. The Fairy Apothecary Mystery series by Astoria Wright. This one, I've only read one book in it so far, but I really enjoyed it because it delves deeper into paranormal creatures. It's more than just, you know, your witches and your vampires. So I'm excited to see how much deeper she goes with those. And I know there's one, Juliet Blackwell. I can't think of the series, but it's with witches and fashion. And that's another one that I really, really have enjoyed too. There's so many. I mean, if you want me to recommend more for you, just send us a message and I will send you a bunch.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I don't know if I have anything else to add without getting spoilery.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I don't think I really want to spoil this one.
Yeah, and I really don't. Because that's the thing I feel like with cozy mysteries is that if you don't know early on, you don't want to ruin it for someone because they are faster reads and maybe a little more predictable than some darker thrillers.
Yeah, like with cozies, there's only like usually like one big reveal, you know, so you don't want to spoil that. Whereas like with thrillers, you might have like 5 or 6 or 7 different twists and turns. So if you spoil 2 of those twists or turns, you still got 5 more left. So it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, like I said, we had our interview with Debra. So that'll be up, and I would definitely check that out. It's really interesting to kind of learn what her process is for writing, and how detailed she is with an outline. And
she was also a fashion buyer, so that I'm sure.
Yep. So that ties into her other series. So it's I think it gives the book even more life,
Mhm.
knowing kind of where she was coming from and that. So I would definitely check out that as well.
Yes.
But otherwise, we definitely recommend it. The book comes out
On October 29th. So I think by the time you're watching this or the next day, it should be out. Yeah, it comes out the next day. If you watch or listen to this on the Monday, it comes out. It'll be out on that Tuesday,
on that
the 29th.
Yes. So we definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm. And I would say, I mean, buy this one, but also start with the first book in the series. You know?
Yeah.
Just buy the whole series. Just go.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing that's kind of awesome with these books is they're
like
super
$8.
expensive.
Yeah.
You know? And I loved the fact that it was so like easy to just take with me and like it wasn't a big bulky thing. So I like that too. But
so like when we go to Comic-Con and stuff like that, these are the type of books I bring with. So they're easy to carry with me and I look like a nerd. So that's great.
But otherwise, subscribe to our channel. Let us know if there's anything you want us to review and come back for the next one.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.